Give me your 25,000.
What the best type of real estate investments?
Can you wait 5 years?
I would love to receive money.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
What do you think, like, what the best type of real estate investments with minimal risks and maximizing ROI, stable, liquid? Yeah, like, what do you think?
I'm going to turn this back and I'm going to ask you, Andre. So whenever one of my investors comes to me and says, how do I get started? I'm going to ask you a question, Andre. Do you have $25,000?
Actually, I have.
Okay, you have $25,000. Do you need that $25,000 or can I take it for 5 years and you don't need to touch it?
Let's say, like, yeah, you can take my money.
I can take. Some investors tell me, oh, that's a long time.
But yeah, 5 years sounds like too much.
5 years is a long time. Some investors say no. So let me ask you this. Do you need start paying you back so that you receive money from me within a year or 2 years of that 5 years?
I would love to receive money.
So the other question I ask is, do you need a big sum of money now or can you wait 5 years?
That's a great question. I'm not sure about 5 years. It's too much.
Okay. So the reason I ask these questions, Andre, is because if somebody says, I have $25,000 and I really want to make $50,000 and I want to be able to make it quick, 12 months, 14 months, then I'm going to say, don't give me your money and put it in a big passive investment in an apartment because I'm holding on to that $25,000 for 3 to 5 years. I'm going to say, you know what, Andre, maybe you need to find a partner where you can bring in 25, your partner can bring in 25, and you go buy a duplex, a 2-unit apartment building, or a 3-plex or a 4-plex, and then you renovate it and then you sell it 6 months, 7 months, 8 months down the line, and then you make your $50,000 or $60,000 and you split that with your partner. So it really depends on how fast you're looking for that return, what kind of partner you have. So you definitely need to have a partner if you do what I just said, where you're buying a duplex or a triplex or a quad and you're going to renovate it and you don't know anything about it. Andre, you better find somebody like Jackie
Okay.
to be your partner, right? So you need to have somebody that's savvy in the metrics of how much you should pay for the building, how much money you should put in renovations, and when you should sell and what your options are to sell. So if you're brand new, you need to find a partner like that you trust. So they always say 3 things: know, like, and trust. Well, a lot of people know me. Most people trust me. And do they like me? So know, like, and trust are the 3 factors that you'll hear throughout real estate all the time. And out of all those, those are more important than the numbers. Because if you trust Jackie and I'm your partner, you're going to hand me $25,000 as many times as you have it.
What's the type of real estate investments actually should I start to invest? What's actually types of real estate investments I prefer to invest with you, for example?
So in the one instance where I talked about, that would be a small building, right? A single family house, a 2-unit, 3-unit, a 4-unit. That's something that you'd be able to, it's called fix and flip. But there's other kind of real estate, bigger apartment buildings. And those are a little bit different. You actually can be a passive investor in that, which means passive just means you just give them your money. Somebody else actually runs it. Somebody actually oversees the purchase. Somebody oversees the improvements to the building. Somebody makes the decision to sell it. And then when it's sold, they then return the profits back to Andre. So that is actually called a syndication. And it's just where they're pooling a lot of passive investors' money together along with the bank loan to be able to purchase a $50 million building or a $20 million. So that's one type of asset. They also have mobile home parks. So I'm proud to say we just closed September 12th, about a month ago, September 12th, 2024. We actually closed on a mobile home park.
Wow.
So that's another investment that you can do. It's a 100-unit mobile home park in South Carolina.
Congrats.
Great asset. Again, we're diversifying, right, Andre? Because when one asset is down, the other asset may be up. We also invest in self-storage. We love that too. We have one also in South Carolina where we're converting building into self-storage. And it's actually getting ready to have our grand opening here in October 2024. So there's triple net investing. That's a whole nother thing that we can talk about. There's investing in debt funds and equity funds, and I can go on and on about different real estate asset classes you can invest in. We love all of them, and we actually are invested in all of those different asset classes, with the exception of a debt fund and an equity fund.
Wow, it's too much information actually, and I have to realize everything, but okay. And so as I understand, there are 3 options actually to invest in. The first option is mobile home parks, the second option self-storage, storages. And the third option is 3 or 2 units, small homes or houses, something like this. Do I understand you correctly?
Yes. Well, there's actually more, right? We talked about houses. We talked about small buildings. We talked about large buildings. We talked about mobile home parks. We talked about self-storage. There's triple net. There's equity funds. There's debt funds, and the list goes on. But those are kind of the major categories of real estate asset classes or things that you can invest in real estate.
Okay. And what do you think, like, let's say just one option I have, what the best will be to start, like, to invest 25K in that?
That's a hard one, Andre. I'm going to switch the topic just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to say, give us $25,000 and we're going to invest it in what we do here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So what we do is we look for investors to invest either $25,000 or $50,000 in one of our small multifamily, ranging from single family to 10 units. And what we do is we offer our investors a 40% return on their money.
Wow.
If you give us $25,000, we will repay you back $35,000. And we do that within 12 to 24 months. We hope it's going to be closer to the 12 months, but we actually, in our contracts, we actually give people we actually give ourselves a little bit of leeway and we give ourselves another 12 months to repay you back. So it could be up to 40% in 1 year, or it could be 20% each year, depending on how long we take to return your capital. That's not holding up your capital for 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's only holding capital for 12, 13, 14, 24 months. So I would say, give me your $25,000 and we'll make it grow by $10,000 in a very short amount of time. So remember, Andre, like one of the reasons that we're offering this is we want to build a relationship with you and other investors.
Absolutely.
But it's only promotional. So we're not going to be offering this for much longer than the next 3 months. And the reason for that is that's a very expensive cost to us to pay you back 40% return. So in 3 to 5 months, I probably won't want to pay you back 40%. So I'm only taking investors through the end of 2024, but me and you can do something even bigger as a partner in the future. So those are my hopes for the rest of 2024.
Okay, yeah, sounds great to me. Yeah, actually, that's great that I can just give you my money, like 25K, or someone can give you just 25K, and you, like, in other words, you will just find the best opportunity to invest, the highest ROI as you can provide, actually. And now is understand you have promotion, like 40%, because it sounds, I don't know, like fantastic, and we need to speak after our show about that.
Yeah, so actually, Andre, I want to talk a little bit about how we do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do we do that? Number one, you have to buy it at the right price.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy these properties at the right price. So what we do is we typically get the current tenants to move. We fix up the property. We put in tenants where we actually get double, if not triple the rents. And then we do what's called a cash out refi, where we go to the bank, right? What I forgot to mention is in the beginning when we buy it, we usually buy with private money. And that just means that it's money. We have to pay more interest to get the money, but it's very fast turnaround. 5 days, 6 days, 7 days,
Wow.
Very quick. Where you go to a bank, it's like 45 to 60 days. So once we stabilize the property, we get the new tenants in where we're doubling the rent. That means we're doubling our rental income, doubling, sometimes even more than doubling. So once we do that, we go back. Now we go to a bank and we say, hey, we need you to do a refinance. So we do what's called a cash out refinance. And basically they look at the value of the property and they loan us about 70 to 75% of that value. And here's the thing, Andre, usually it's a lot more than what we paid for it. Always a lot more. So let me give you an example. So we purchased a 6 unit. We did everything that I told you about. We went to the bank. We did a cash out refinance and we got a check for $129,000.
Okay.
And we only increased our mortgage payment by $500. But I just got a check for $129,000. I still own the asset. It still cash flows because my mortgage payment is a lot less than the rents that I'm getting in. So it's a win situation. And that's how we can pay you, Andre, the 40%. If we didn't have that model, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't allow me to pay you back 40% on your money.
Yeah, that sounds...
So that's the main way that we pay our investors, the 1 or 2 investors, back their money.
Okay, yeah, I got the idea. That sounds like really interesting to me, actually, and I believe for our audience as well, because that sounds like a fantastic. And I didn't hear it from someone with same model, or yeah, like it sounds great to me, and I'm really interested actually in like investing with you moving forward. And
Awesome. I'm going to send you the form.
okay, we can speak about it later. Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to mention, Andre, about something that we do specifically here in the Pittsburgh area is when I say that we get the current tenants out and we bring in new tenants in, we're bringing in tenants that need rental assistance. And I call those program rentals. So we work with Housing of Urban Development and other nonprofits that help people that are struggling to pay their rent. So that's great for the thousands of people here where we live that can't afford to rent an apartment. So they go to this housing authority or the specific nonprofit and they actually pay their rent. They pay us the rent on behalf of that person.
Wow. Yeah, that's really social oriented. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's really great. Not only, do we live here in Pittsburgh, we're actually trying to help uplift our economy here in Western PA. We're trying to help people get onto their feet and give them a nice place to live because, we buy in C-class areas. So not a really, really good neighborhood, but not the worst either. So what we're trying to do is help uplift those neighborhoods and give our tenants a nice place to live. And what a concept, Andre, because a lot of people some landlords that rent to these folks that need financial assistance, they don't care about fixing the apartment. They don't care if their refrigerator is broke or if water is leaking from their ceiling. Well, we do. We want to, when a tenant calls and has a problem, we go in there and fix it. We make sure their doors are locked. We give them new windows. It depends on, what apartment they live in, but we're a landlord that cares about them and we want to give them an A-class experience and help, uplift their morale. Their morale may be low because they can't find a job or they're disabled or whatever it is. So we want to make them feel like real individuals and that they're heard and that they're respected. So we love what we're doing in our community and just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, it's wonderful actually. I love it. I didn't know it actually. That's really social oriented and yeah. Love it. I think you mentioned a lot about like your company. Maybe you can just summarize up like maybe 3 things that sets Moreland Equity apart with others, like why I or someone else should invest specifically with you.
Sure. So that's a great question. So Moreland Equity, let me explain where that name came from. So my name is Jacqueline Landry. It wasn't always Landry. That's my married name. So I'm a Morelli. So Jacqueline Morelli is my maiden name. So that's where the More part came in. The land part came in from my husband's side, the Landry. So that's how we came up with More Land. And it actually is very, most people look at our company name and they say, oh, do you sell land? And I go, oh, no, that's my husband's name. So More Land Equity Capital, that's where our name came from. I say the reason that folks should invest in us is we're the real deal, Andre. A lot of people in this industry are not very honest. They don't have integrity. They just care about making a dollar. And I think our standards are set pretty high. We're a tell it how it is couple. My husband and I, we don't beat around the bush. We tell you how it is. And, over time, people will know that about us and trust us. So I think that's the one thing that sets us apart is we, we're honest, we're truthful, and we're just going to kind of tell you how it is.
Okay, thank you so much for this.
It's not how much you make, it's how much money you can keep in your pocket.
Is this only way to use cash for real estate investing?
I reduced my taxes by $82,000.
What sweet capital should we use to start investing?
You may double your money.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.